Welcome back to Meet You at Breakfast. I am Ben, and I am here with the full group, Brian, Julia, and Dylan, to talk about episode number 6 of the Traitors US Season 3. And this season is chugging along. In my opinion, if this season keeps this energy for the rest of the way, like it's probably in like my top 5 to 10 reality TV like seasons of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you guys if that's like too crazy, but we can talk about it. Before we get into it, though, Julia and Dylan, I know you guys missed the last episode. Anything from episode 5 you want to kind of touch on before we jump into this one?
Oh, poor Robin, my girl Robin. Love her on Housewives, but she was just not built for this, I feel.
The legend of Boston Rob just continues to grow in my mind.
Oh my God.
The show has turned into how long can Boston Rob survive, and then we start worrying about who wins. Nikki going home was very sad. Kind of like the whole thing we've talked about of like it's personal while not being personal at the same time. Like my girl Chriselle with her vibes and feelings. Which happened again in this episode. Once again, wrong. I don't know. I felt pretty bad for Nikki, but also at the same time, it kind of adds to the drama, adds to the intensity of when people do go home, which I do like because we've talked about it on Survivor too. When people are getting voted out, you're getting voted out of getting $1 million and winning a game. It's can be personal. You don't know everything. Doesn't have to be kumbaya and hey, thanks for letting me play. So it's nice to see that emotion, and it's like real emotion out of these people. We're reminded this week too with Wes when people are kind of just dickheads, and they always have been in the games they play. But no, I agree. This season is just very, very good TV. I loved it. I'm like just so hooked on this game. I'm purposely kind of holding myself back from watching seasons 1 and 2 until I finish this season, just because I want to be able to kind of fill that gap. Because it's going to be a whole nother year probably at least until we get a new Trader season. So I want to kind of harness the momentum of the Traitors. So very much excited to look for the first 2 seasons. But I agree, Ben. It's just so good, and it's all I want to talk about. And so many people that I never knew would have watched the show have been trying to talk about it with me too, which is great. So.
Yeah, you want to keep the good thing going, so you want to save those little season 1 and 2 moments as little treats over the next year. But I made the mistake of watching seasons 1 and 2 in the same weekend, so there was a lull for me for sure. I finished 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, so I was like, all right, now it's over.
Oh, there's always the Australian, Canada, UK. Like there's all kinds of other ones, and a lot of them are on Peacock. So, is there any chance that we? Oh, sorry, you know.
I was going to say, what's the difference? Does the UK one not do celebrities? They just do random people all thrown the house. So I enjoy the celebrity portion of US Traitors just because it's nice to see all these names. But I think the game's next evolutionary step obviously has to be eventually getting a bunch of random people we don't know.
But Canada does the like US season 1 style where it's like half and half. So like Erica, who like the winner of Survivor 41, Erica Kasupanen, was on the Traitors Canada season 1, I think, right? And then there's some like Big Brother Canada players also.
Yeah, they got their own reality star, and they're really, really good. A lot of the BB Can players are some of the better Big Brother players in like North America. So I'm hoping for a crossover season with the US at some point.
That'd be cool.
Although Canada's over, that's where it probably would have happened. But yeah, anyways, any chance we find out Chriselle? You know how these games there's like a cultist role sometimes where it's like their whole job is to help the Traitors. Any chance we find out Chriselle is secretly that? Because tough couple of weeks.
Yeah. Her turning on Nikki was like ridiculous. And also going back to the last episode, Dylan just throwing out the random vote for Gabby was very interesting to me. But finding out that Gabby and Chriselle both ended up voting Nikki in the end was like the Bambis weren't as solid as we thought, but people would have understood if they didn't vote for Nikki. So
yeah, I think Rob also called this out in the turret at the start of the episode 5 when they were talking about murdering one of the Bambis to like split them up. He's like, they don't even vote together. There's no strategy there. They're just friends. Like there's not even like they're not even a threat. And
no.
Honestly, he's been right. Like the last 2 episodes have proven him right. Obviously, both of them voting out Nikki, and then in this episode, by the end, they don't again vote together. Gabby ends up voting for Rob, and Chriselle ends up voting for Wes. So like, yeah, they aren't like a strategic alliance. They're just they're just friends.
Yeah.
they're not even playing strategically within their concept of like being friends.
No, they literally are just a clique, and they just like to bond under their eyes. I guess I don't know, but
they don't even like reach the level of like the Peter Pals.
I think that's also what it adds an element to the season 2 of that. There's so much chaos with the Traitors themselves that I think it kind of takes away how awful the Faithfuls have played. Just because the Traitors have been so chaotic. Specifically now, Danielle and Carolyn, like,
oh jeez,
this should be a season the Traitors are probably running away with it, and as of right now, they are. But it seems like the tides are turning, and it's only because the Traitors are self-imploding on their own.
Yeah, as entertaining as it is to watch Rob like kind of dominate in the strategy element, it's equally entertaining to watch players like Derek flounder by trying to be like, please, like be smart. Please do like the right thing. And all of these people just like being like, nah, I can't do it. Sorry, Derek. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. They're like, I don't think this is the strategy. And Derek's like, I am strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, two players call out exactly what happened. 2 Faithfuls call out exactly what happened with Boston Rob today. And just literally verbatim everything that happened. Oh, exactly, to a T. And the masterclass of Boston Rob also kind of just followed by just the pure emotional and just like not thinking about a game moves by everybody else. Even I feel like even my boy Dylan, who stole my fact, he once won a rock paper shoot competition with 100 people. Even him, I feel like they're all so paranoid at this point now that once again, if the Traitors could just get along, I think that they could figure it out. At the very least, Boston Rob is going to get banished within probably the next 2 episodes, and then they bring on a third potentially. But now I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
I can see them killing Derek and Rob being like, obviously they're trying to frame me, and all of them being like, obviously he's being framed. We can't vote Rob off.
Yeah, which Derek called out.
Which even Derek said this is what will happen, and they'll still be like, who knows?
Right, like Rob goes after somebody the second that they so much as utter the first letter of his name. So
yeah,
like we got to get him out, and then Danielle and Carolyn are like, okay, Rob, whatever you want. It's like,
yeah, that's why they still had to call Bob H. So Rob didn't think that someone was saying his name. They keep it,
Oh, poor Bob H.
Yeah,
poor Bob.
I know.
Bobs are gone.
I've never really watched Biggest Loser, but I enjoyed him on this. He seemed like a fun guy. And his coming in and just being like, fuck, that's so real. Like the exact reaction I think I would have in that position.
Yeah. He's definitely a lot chiller on this show than he was. I mean, it's obviously different vibes, right? But like on Biggest Loser, he's like very like, he's like an intense personal trainer.
Right. I was very thrown off with him at first. I'm like, is this the same Bob Harper that we watched for years yell at people to lose weight? I'm confused.
Yeah.
But I think he had a heart attack and probably
mellowed him out.
Since then he's been different. But But no, I was like, this is not the man I grew up with on my TV. Where is he?
It's been known. The heart attacks have been known to,
mellow you out.
Mellow you out a little bit.
He got it right.
I mean, health.
I mean, it's disappointing. I think I'm still just waiting for them to kill Sam because it's the one person on the show I have zero opinion on at all. And fingers crossed they finally do it this week. But I know that Rob's probably going to push for Derek, even though
he just exists. Sam doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I don't even think he has confessionals, really. He's literally never existing. I think because he can't talk about Britney Spears, so like he's really just there for his pretty face.
Yeah, he's there for when they're going to bed shots. Like, all right, let's get Sam's shirt off. Let's put some soap on him. All right, perfect.
I was like, oh, I forgot he was on this show. Wow, hey Sam. Like, all right, take it off. Woo. Like, those clips are very interesting too. I'm like, all right, these are a little dramatic for me. We don't.
I liked Tom playing with the rubber ducky in the bathtub this week. That was fun.
That leads us into our next segment.
I've been mentally preparing for this.
Yeah, I love the go to bed shots. They're just ridiculous, and like just like people like pondering their orb basically in their room. It's like it's very funny. Yeah, that shot of Tom in the bathtub. Love that. He's sneaking the funniest player on this season. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do bits, right? You gotta like bring footy pajamas or like bring an orb perhaps. Like, can I please have this?
Like the people in the circle that bring like wacky things with them in their apartment.
Exactly.
No, I think like, do we want to get into the Tom Sandoval like kind of like B plot in this episode, which is just like everyone is just over him and they like kind of like are half pretending that he doesn't exist because like the traitors are never going to kill him because he's so irrelevant and like completely wrong. But the faithfuls are also like so convinced that he's just like a dumb faithful that they're not going to banish him. So he's just like going to coast to the finals, right? Like he's at the final 5 for sure. No.
Come on, people, get rid of him.
Why? I think, like if he gets medevacs, maybe.
I think you brought up Sam. I think him and Sam both might be there. Though I can see both of them being potentially the. How many could you hypothetically be left with as faithfuls? What's like the maximum number that could survive?
I guess 4, right? Because like theoretically you can make it on a final 5 and there's presumably like gonna be at least one traitor left. So but they'll probably vote like if you get down to the final 5 and you like allow the game to end, you're probably just like completely brain dead. So realistically 3 is like the most or the most amount of faithfuls you could see at the end.
I think they go to fire at 4 or 5, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's intense.
They go to fire? I thought that was a joke about Survivor. They actually go to fire.
No, yeah. The end game, the end game is they do the final voting rounds like around a fire, and they have to throw in like packets that are either green, that either turn the fire green or red to say whether they want to end the game or not.
I see. Okay. That's the other exciting thing about watching the show is that I really don't know what's coming. You know, twists. If there's like annual twists that happen with the shows, that's kind of the very exciting part about watching it for the first time too.
Yeah, you and Tom are probably on the same amount of like knowledge level of what's happening.
All right, Dylan, let's hear it. What's our Tom propaganda?
I mean, I just think he's hilarious. He's like it's sort of similar to Sam too. He's like they're good for like 1, 2, maybe 3 times an episode to generally make me laugh. And like it's always the cuts to him, especially where he started going after Dolores at the round table. He's like a guy that like he thinks he has it all solved. He's like, you know what, I know for a fact it's Dolores. Or like and like he has a different he has a different theory each week or each day. And
that's what they called him out for that too. They're like Tom's new theory.
And it's immediately shut down. He doesn't even like fight back, and he like just kind of goes back into like robot mode of like, oh, okay, let's find the next person to blame then. And it's just like the scenes of like him in the bathtub. Like, I don't know, since this is my only exposure to Tom Sandoval, and I've seen videos about him before, but I would say I'm a fan of Tom Sandoval. I'm a fan of Traitors, Tom Sandoval, because I think he's the funniest person on the show.
Tom Sandoval in Traitors is basically how Tom Sandoval is in real life. Watching any Vanderpump Rules, he literally, there was his most famous quote from Vanderpump Rules is like the crazy eyes that he does, and he goes, "I'm the number 1 guy in this group." Like basically everything's about him, and like all of his theories, like this. He did that in real life. Like this was just the Traitors is pretty much just like a normal Tuesday for Tom Sandoval. Like he does this in real life too. So
love it.
It's also something. It's also something this show does very well, and I don't know if they're told beforehand, like just do the most, like just do extreme facial expressions anytime anybody says anything that's remotely out of the ordinary. Because obviously he does it a lot too. But even when they're at the turret at the end of the episode, like obviously Carolyn's always
Carolyn does
been
it too, just naturally.
I mean, that's just Carolyn. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always who she is. But like even Rob, when Carolyn and Danielle started going at each other in the turret, his facial expression, like it's just something that they do like so well. It's just so funny.
I don't think Rob's ever had to deal with someone like Carolyn. He's dealt with a lot of wacky characters. Like even Philip, the wackiest of the characters, he had like him reined in. Like Carolyn's doing her own thing. She's, playing the most suboptimal game possible, but she's being so entertaining. I love it. I love her. I need her on every show. Big Brother, Amazing Race. Just please.
Yeah. It does unfortunately sound like Survivor is not in her future, whether that's through her own doing, or I don't remember if it was talking to you guys or I was talking to somebody else about it, but like I guess Jeff is not all too thrilled about her going and doing Traitors.
Jeff needs to get over it. Mark Burnett needs to call him up like he did with Johnny Fairplay from Micronesia and be like, tough titties, Jeff. She's on the case.
No, I mean, I did not come into the season expecting Carolyn to be one of my favorites. Like, I love Carolyn on Survivor. Like, I was a big Carolyn fan in Survivor 44. But like, I just, with the amount of like kind of personalities like in this cast, I didn't really expect her to like be a standout. And obviously, like her being a traitor is helpful. Like, the traitors are just naturally going to get more screen time. But like, yeah, I think she's still like playing, like even through this Danielle stuff, is still like playing it really well. And obviously at the very end in the turret, when she just says right to Danielle's face, yeah, we're gonna have to go after you now, Danielle. It's just cold.
Danielle has shot herself in the foot royally. I don't know why she did that. Like,
I don't think that Danielle has seen either season of the Traitors US, and I don't think that she's seen Carolyn's season of Survivor, because like there are so many things that she's done that just show a fundamental misunderstanding of both how the game works and also of Carolyn as a person that like you would know just by simply watching these seasons of television. Like I just don't know. It seems like she's did zero research coming in and she just came in and just like winged it. I
only watched a couple episodes of Survivor 44 and I knew exactly how Carolyn was. Like it doesn't.
Well, it's not even just how Carolyn is. No. Like that's very like I think that's immediately apparent just by interacting with her for like 5 minutes. But like the fact that like Carolyn is very like strategically capable, and the whole thing on the show is that she was not taken seriously as like a strategic agent because of her emotions and her personality, and like we know that like Carolyn has done like orgs and like a bunch of like these like fan-made games for years. She's been like a huge reality TV fan for her entire life. She like she's the kind of person to, if she had never been on Survivor, she would still be like in the communities like talking about these shows, and she is like very strategically on point in terms of like on when she was on Survivor she was, and now on the Traitors she's been. So like not realizing that from Danielle coming in, I'm very surprised.
Yeah, and just like the immediate switch up too, just in the car when she was like, "Oh, Carolyn," I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" And now Carolyn is pissed. Like she is not happy.
I've grown tired of Danielle. I'm definitely ready for her to get the axe. I think that. Kind of at the same point that I was with Bob the Drag Queen of like I think that the first few episodes they were great and kind of their over the topness was funny, but I do think especially Danielle now I feel like she's kind of watering down the game that Carolyn and Boston Rob could be playing. I think it's entertaining. Like that turret scene at the end was very entertaining and the tension, all that was great, but if you're looking at it from a gameplay standpoint, I feel like now she's nothing but detrimental to the Traitors. And I feel like I don't know if there's a way, like a mechanic within the game for them to get Danielle out without like her being banished. Like I don't know if that's something that they can do.
She has to be banished.
So I feel like that could become frustrating as a viewer now. I mean, if they keep up the chaotic and messy play, maybe from an entertainment standpoint, like I said, but from like a gameplay viewpoint, I think everything with her has kind of gotten a little bit old because it all seems reactionary and she's now not thinking about the game. I think, and at the same point of you saying she's underestimating Carolyn, I also think that she's like severely overestimating her gameplay capability at this point. So I'm kind of getting a little bit over Danielle. I'd really like to get another Traitor recruited there, possibly. I think that getting that mix in there would be really fun. At the same point, though, I just have a really, really hard time seeing Boston Rob last, another 2 episodes. I don't doubt it. That's like doubting Tom Brady, in the playoffs. Like you just don't do that. But I don't know. It's like I feel like both him and Danielle are not there to last long, and I think that adds a really, really interesting, like, because say you get down to 2. I know you were trying to explain to me yesterday. Are you forced to have to recruit someone?
Usually.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that would be like interesting. But then I wonder if like the merry-go-round keeps going of like people already suspect Danielle or Boston Rob's, like you recruit one, get somebody else, and then somebody else, then one's killed, then at that point you have another person rotated to Traitor.
Yeah.
That could be interesting, but also at the same time that could become a little redundant.
Yeah, I could totally see Rob and Danielle being banished soon-ish. I think Danielle she bit off more than she could chew way too soon, and I think Carolyn's definitely going to be the sole survivor of the 3 of them. So, no pun intended.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, I guess there's no chance now that Rob can be like, can we please just like reset for real? Like it's over, right? Like this is coming to a head. Yeah, there's no way. So
yeah, I think either Rob or Danielle has to get banished next week.
Rudy, as someone who has been actively and verbally rooting for Carolyn to find her own voice and start standing up for herself, I really hope that this isn't something that gets pushed aside. You know what I mean? I do hope Carolyn starts kind of getting ready to kind of go for the kill, because it's something that she's has needed to do both on Survivor and up to this point on Traitors. So because I was kind of out on Carolyn on Traitors. I know, like last time I was on here, I think a lot of us agree that Carolyn was playing a very good game, except for me. But I think that this episode definitely flipped me back around to being back on Carolyn for this game. I think that she's in a very good spot right now because I still think absolutely no one suspects her of being a traitor. And at the same time, I think now she's kind of woken up to the fact that less so Boston Rob, but more so Danielle has got to go.
I just hope that they don't turn on Carolyn, Rob, and Danielle and try to get her out when she's the one that deserves to stay out of the 3 of them. So.
I don't see Boston Rob doing. I think Boston Rob clearly sees now who's after her Danielle's comment about when did I bring up was it Brittany's name? When did I bring that up? And she's like, oh, in the turret when you brought up killing her, like that. And that was where we got the look from Boston Rob too, like pure shock. I don't think he would. I think he sees, and he probably suspects too at this point. She's got to be gunning. I mean, she voted for him, so he suspects now she's gunning for him. So I do feel like. It's too, even though Carolyn and Boston Rob aren't necessarily, friends in this game, I do think now it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I think that the logical thing is for them to team up. And I feel like it's win-win for Carolyn, because if they team up, and it seems like potentially Boston Rob's going to be gone in a day or two anyway.
All right. Do we want to talk about Brittany? I think this is kind of an interesting kind of side plot that happens. And there's like multiple kind of, like, this is like the first episode where we get to see like a good amount of Brittany. We see her in the kind of one of the opening scenes where she's like, having her classic confessionals, making fun of Tom Sandoval. And then we have her like kind of strategically involved in 2 separate ways. There's her kind of loosely telling Carolyn about Danielle throwing her into the bus. And then also we have the Brittany and Derek stuff later. So I guess we could talk about There's like a lot of speculation that I've seen, and I think that Brittany also has come out and said that she, like, one of the reasons that she's not being shown on the show very often is similar to Sandra on season 2. She's kind of playing the like meta game, like kind of, you know, the what I would call correct way to play as a faithful, which is to cozy up, like figure out who the traitors are, cozy up to the traitors, and then like make them think that you're on their side and trust them, and then cut them at the last minute. And I think that's what Brittany is doing. I think that Brittany roughly knows who the traitors are and is protecting them to try to either get recruited or get into the end game with them and then cut them. Mm-hmm. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on that are.
Yeah.
Coming from a perspective of somebody that has never seen Brittany play any other game, it's tough for me to know how cunning she is. So I mean, that'd be cool. That'd be that's an interesting strategy. I guess I don't know. I wonder what the move is though. Of you do that, and you start to get towards the end. It's like I feel like you open yourself up to potentially being a very easy person to cut at the end if you're a traitor of someone that's helping out the traitors. So that'd be cool. I mean, she was the first person I thought about now after this episode of somebody that Carolyn could recruit. And I think that was another really interesting point too, is that pretty much everybody that Danielle talked to about Carolyn has gone to Carolyn. Seemingly they've gone to her. So I think that's something to speak about how Carolyn's viewed too in the game, because it seems like people don't seriously consider her being a traitor. But yeah, I'm like, they got to tout Brittany, because Brittany was a Big Brother winner, correct? Or no, it was the reverse. Danielle won.
No, neither of them won. Derek won.
Or what was it? Brittany or one of the Danielle and Brittany got rid of one of each other at Big Brother.
Reindeer games.
In reindeer games. Yeah.
In a spinoff.
I still have yet to see reindeer games.
So yeah, both Danielle and Brittany have played 2 real seasons of Big Brother each, and then neither of them won. Although both of them were in okay positions. Like Danielle lost the jury vote in her first season, and then Brittany came in 4th in her first season, and then in her second season she was set up pretty well. And there was a move that Dan, who was on season 2 of the Traitors, pulled called Dan's Funeral, that kind of like flipped the house structure on its head, and then she got eliminated that week. And if that move hadn't been made, she was pretty well set up to probably be the likely winner of the season. And then both of them ended up on Reindeer Games last year, which was a holiday spinoff that was like, I don't know, 2 weeks long or however long it was, where Brittany betrayed Danielle and got her eliminated.
Yeah, it was more like the challenge than Big Brother. It was just like Big Brother players in the Big Brother house.
Mm-hmm.
What I took away from that is it seems like Big Brother players do not have the best track record in Traitors so far.
No.
So for us big Survivor guys who don't watch Big Brother, that's a big win for us.
Big Brother's my other love, of course.
Well, that's what I mean. I say us, I mean me.
BB Can players, though, I mean...
Yeah. I would be interested to see Brittany become a traitor. That would be something I would be okay with.
I think that's her play. I don't know, Brian. What are your thoughts on Brittany so far in this episode?
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense because she's very steadfast in her like, no, Rob's not a traitor to Derek, like trying to get him off the scent. And it would make sense if she, knows Danielle. Like, I think Janelle actually tweeted about it. Janelle, Big Brother legend, also traitor, season 2 player. She said that she knew Dan was a traitor in season 1 just because she knows Dan really well in real life and played like a month and a half of Big Brother with him in one season. Yeah, and just like
with
and Brittany too. And like she was like, well, Danielle and Brittany know each other really well. So like Brittany's gonna be able to suss out Danielle, probably. And I think that makes sense, especially when there's so many people you just have no idea about. If you like know somebody and they're acting like a little different or like kind of dodgy, then I like your theory that she's bought in and trying to play the Sandra way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, what Dylan brought up too is like a good point. Where like there is risk to that, And we kind of saw that play out with Sandra in season 2, where she was kind of cut towards the end because everyone like associated with her with helping the people that they perceived to be traitors, and so they thought that she was just a traitor, and they voted her out in the end game because of it. Like that is the downside. Like the best case scenario is pretty much always just to get recruited, and I do think that seems to be how Brittany is playing to me. She's playing to get recruited.
I think Dylan would be another really interesting recruit too, especially because he's very clearly a faithful right now. I feel like, or if the faithfuls don't, if he wasn't, he'd be playing maybe the best traitor game ever. But I feel like him switching up would be that'd be a really interesting move too. Because like I said, I feel like most people that are faithfuls assume he is a faithful with just the way he's played this game. So him and Brittany were the two I thought about. Of like, if we do have people shuffle in, I feel like those two would be really interesting.
Yeah, I feel like Brittany would definitely accept, and I'm wondering if Dylan would pull a Peter and be like, "I would never." But I mean,
yeah, what happens if it's sent to you and like if you get the recruit letter and you don't want to do it?
So there's two options, right? You can get recruited or there's an extortion, and both of which might happen. For recruitment, the faithful has a choice, and this has happened in season 2, where there was a guy who was like the ultimate faithful. You know, he was on to everybody. He was like leading his army of faithfuls against the traitors, and the traitors tried to recruit him, and he turned it down. And you know, what ends up happening is generally one of two things, which is, you know, you come out at breakfast and you're like, hey, I got a recruitment letter and I turned it down. And everyone's like, that seems silly. Why would you ever turn it down? He's definitely got a recruitment letter and said yes, so we're going to banish him next. Or you turn it down and like, well, now you've just pissed off the traitors because like they gave you an olive branch. They're like, oh, we could have murdered you, but we're going to give you an olive branch to come work with us instead. And then you slap the hand that's trying to feed you. So now you're going to get murdered. It's like saying no is like basically a death sentence one way or the other.
So when you get it, so they decide whether they murder somebody or recruit somebody. So hypothetically, if nobody gets murdered, then all the other faithfuls know somebody has been recruited.
Usually, unless there's a
or
shield.
They tried to kill someone with a shield. Yeah.
Yes. Which can happen. That could happen this time, right? I mean, there is a shield, like Chrishelle's shield, that the traitors have no idea who from that group had it. So if they do, like, you know, try to take a shot at Derek here, and like for all they know, Derek could have a shield, and if they did that, and Derek did have the shield, then nobody would die, and they would waste the night.
I feel like we're setting ourselves up for that scenario just because they really kind of they stayed away from even like revealing to us who has the shield at this point. So that could
we know who the three that have the shields are.
Well, I guess I mean, so who wound up with the shield when they went to bed? Because like I feel like
Danielle and Carolyn going in the same group. Like what?
Yeah,
you at least need to know.
Was there a thing where they were trying to like pass the shield off? At the end, I didn't. But
it left it up of like at the end of the challenge, and people got it. But I think I forget.
Oh yeah. But Chrishell has it.
I think it was like that was a group like let's decide who's going to get the shield. I think it was her group that was like, yeah, this is gonna be a team effort. And so I feel like they've left it open ended there. I'm like, ooh, like did they who passed it off to who? So I wonder if like that's like an editing choice. Of like we're like that is gonna come into play. That exact fact that like they're gonna try to kill somebody.
Interesting.
We as the viewer are gonna be like, oh, wow, they.
I mean, that would be a crazy. I did not read it that way. That'd be a crazy bait and switch kind of situation. Because I read it as like
last after everybody.
Yeah, I read it as like, hey, if there is no traitor in our group and we just don't tell anybody else, we can all kind of like get some sort of collective safety, which there isn't. That was the group that didn't have a traitor in it. So like, you know, presumably if Rob says up in the turret in the start of the next episode, hey, we should kill Derek, you know, they could all be like, there's a pretty good chance he has a shield and we're just going to waste a kill here. Like, why don't we just like take out Ivar, who we know doesn't?
My Same thing with Survivor. I hate the Reddit, but the Traitors Reddit's actually pretty fun. So I went on the Traitors Reddit. My favorite comment was Ivar clearly thinks that Rob's first name is Boston. every time he brings up like Boston Rob, he like whispers like Boston Rob. And it's very funny. I like Ivar. It's like
hyphenated name. Yeah.
He's also like a royal or a lord, whatever. So like, fuck that. But like at the same time, At the same time, Ivar's been, Ivar's funny. He's I was just because Boston Rob like calling, like kind of throwing him out there out of nowhere at the round table was also another interesting choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's another one that I forget about. I forget about him so much. I almost forget about him as much as I forget about Sam, but he talks more than Sam. So,
well, I liked when like Derek trying to tell him the plan, but he was doing it like he was doing like a Sphinx style riddle to like Ivar of like who he's gonna try to throw under the bus at the round table. And he's like, Ivar, the person that I'm gonna go after today, you thought about their name once on a Tuesday, and I'm like, and Ivar's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, remember the guy you went after? You proposed an idea. Well, I'm gonna float the same idea. And he's like, what?
He's like, when did I?
And Derek had to try like 4 or 5 times before Ivar's like, oh, you're gonna go after Rob.
You're gonna go over my buddy Boston. I see.
Yeah.
Boston, my boy Boss, come on.
Yeah. The namesake of Boston Powers,
Yeah, Boston. So I don't really understand you Americans, but
Yeah.
Oh man. No, I do think it's a good now like casting choice to just throw one random like influential British person into this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did really like Rob's play to kind of deflect Derek. I like what he basically did was he knows that everyone knows that Ivar is a faithful, basically because like the logic is like Bob the Drag Queen targeted Ivar like 3 rounds in a row, which he's not going to do if Ivar is a traitor. So everyone's like, okay, so we know that he's a faithful for sure. So he's like basically tells this completely fabricated story to draw some kind of equivocation between himself and Ivar in people's minds. Like it's like a really neat psychological trick he does.
This is where he gets to play his game probably the best. I think is through manipulation. But at this point, no, it's beyond his Survivor game. Because he's at the level he's at because of Survivor. I feel like, Derek presented a really good case here, obviously, up until Wes's self-implosion of just turning on everybody for no reason. I honestly thought he had Boston Rob. I think he did. I think that room was captivated by what Derek said, but yeah, Boston Rob, he's just those tribals for Survivor. You just find the ability, if you're even remotely charismatic, you can kind of just run away with it. And yeah, he's played a game like this so many different times that he's just mastered this, and that's what I mean by like watching this week to week down to see how long he can survive this. Like, he's gonna have to keep amplifying his ability to play this social aspect of this. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he survives another 3 episodes, then like it's one of the craziest like reality runs I feel like ever, because it's so obvious at this point to me, like even as a faithful, that he would be a traitor, and but it's just that thought in the back of your mind too of like, if what's gonna happen. Same thing Danielle said of like, what's gonna happen if I go after, like I'm a lamb going after a lion, and if one wrong move, I'm fucked. And so
that's the thing, right? At this roundtable, Wes like very blatantly threatens people. Like, if you come after me, I'm going to come after you, which is horrible. Probably at least partially contributes to why he gets banished. But like, terrible. Rob has that aura without even having to say it, right? Like, that's kind of the difference with Wes. He comes at you and he's like very like in your face aggressive, and like he tries to kind of like control people through like fear and like force, whereas like Rob does that but like from a place of charisma where he's not like explicitly saying like come at me and I'll come at you. It's just kind of like implied by his being.
Yeah, What Wes at the round table though? Oh my god, I'm not a threatening being, but take this as a threat. It's like, oh my god, man! Like, geez, you just shot yourself in the foot just by saying that. He's like, I know I'm a threatening, but I'm a threat. Like, you're a walking threat. Like, what do you mean? You're Wes.
The real bad side of the challenge being you can control your own destiny a little bit in the challenge, where you can like if you're a psycho, you can just call everyone out and be like, put me in the elimination every time, I'll come right back out, which is probably cool and badass when people do that on the show. And the one season of the challenge I watched, Chris Underwood was in elimination 5 times and survived them all. Like, that was awesome, but that's not the game you're playing here, Wes.
Yeah, I think challenge is such like a testosterone fueled type event for guys like Wes, where like that just does not translate over to a game like this. So
yeah,
I'm starting to try to read in the edits like I do for Survivor, and I don't know how effective that really is with a game like this, but it felt almost painfully obvious to me that once votes started going to Wes, that it was going to be Wes, just based off of like him doing that at the table is like, fuck this guy. But also at the same time, like, it's like they have that twist of like it's one person and then it flips over to potentially somebody else, which is what happened with Boston Rob. And it was very obvious it's going to switch back to Wes, which is also why it's like the same thing where it's tough for me to tell with like, obviously Tom has like the funny moments with like a guy like Sam that we talked about, like, and even Brittany up until this episode, like, what is their edit? Like, there's no edit. And like Wes, the only time we ever saw Wes in this game was when he was trying to orchestrate something against Boston Rob. Yeah, I don't know. That round table, that was an interesting choice. Like, I'm not aggressive, but like I'm gonna try to kill everyone here.
I wonder if Wes has ever played Clue, because I feel like he definitely should have played games like that before he played Traitors, because
at least Among Us,
right? Literally, like something where he had to use the other side of his brain, because he was just like, oh, I'm big and scary, but I'm not big and scary, but I will take you out. It's like, no, we only need you for the challenges to make money. Like,
yeah, I've seen some pictures of Wes roided up at some point. That must have been a very scary competitor on the challenge when he was, all super jacked.
See, that's why he's on the challenge. That show makes so much more sense for him.
That was like a lot of the attractiveness to me in like middle school watching the challenge. Like, oh, these dudes are fighting, we're all running into each other. That was like, I didn't imagine TV getting any better than that. And then during this round table, I'm like, because I remember I told you guys, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember Wes from the challenge days. Yeah, he was cool. And then immediately when he's like turned into the Wes I knew at the round table today, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that he is like this.
What's the difference, Dylan? He was on reality television, put in kind of a state of arrested development, whereas you like got older and grew up.
Yeah.
And we're like, maybe that's not what I want to be like.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of Conor McGregor a little bit too. Like, you know what? Yeah.
That's
just like, yeah, it's a lengthy comparison, but when you think about like their appearance and their energies, it's very, very similar.
If he had punched Ivar, since Conor
then definitely, yes,
it really would.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, Wes definitely played this whole round like somebody who got hit in the head for a living. So
yeah, he'll just stand in for McGregor next time he gets injured. They won't know. They won't know.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, like the number one comparison we're going to make is to CT, right? Because like, comparing him to somebody who won the Traitors last year, I think like the obvious difference is just like having a social game at all. Because like it didn't seem like Wes had people other than Derek that he was having conversations with. I don't think he respected anybody other than Derek on the cast, which like I get to a degree because a lot of the players do seem rather clueless and would probably be frustrating to talk to if you're like kind of a game head and like all these people are like, oh, Dolores is a traitor, and you're like, please stop.
Please stop talking. Yeah. Like Tom and Brittany's conversation. Brittany's like, I'm gonna hold your hand when I tell you this. Like, you're wrong. Like,
So yeah, like I get to that point, but it's just like a level of tact that you need to have if you're somebody like, I think CT grew into, an actual functioning adult post to the challenge. And I think Wes like partially maybe didn't, or maybe he just like is so leaned into playing the character, like the reality TV character of like the dickhead bad guy who like is aggressive at everyone, that he just didn't really care about how that would affect his winning chances.
His departure there was very like, to keep going back to like middle school me would have been like, hell yeah, you showed them, like, hell yeah, dude, flipping your finger off, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, all right,
sick, dude.
even though that was a wrong move for the Faithfuls, I guess that was the right move in the end.
Yeah. I'm a faithful. Yeah. Like, okay.
I'm the winningest reality show contestant of all time, which, I mean, look, we also talk about this, like, CT is one more than him.
Right?
Like, and look, if we're looking at statistics, right? Like, I did the calculations. He's, we'll speak. He's on Worst Cooks in America right now. He's in the final 5 on Worst Cooks in America.
CT is? CT or Wes?
Well, Wes.
Interesting.
Oh.
There's a lot of people on
on
this season that are on simultaneously on other reality shows at this moment.
Yeah.
That Peacock contract, I guess, or maybe the Food Network contract wasn't.
They've got their favorite.
Yeah, he's on there with other Traitors alum, Rachel Riley, Frankie Grande, Corinne from The Bachelor, New York is on there. Yeah.
Gotta check this out.
Yeah, so no, but so we don't know if he wins that yet because it's still airing. But like, ignoring that, he's won, I believe, around 3 out of 24 or so seasons of reality TV, which is about 1 in 8, which is also the statistics that Rob has. Rob has won 1 out of 8 seasons of reality TV. So like, I mean, if you fudge the numbers, I guess he could say that he's like won, I guess, the most seasons of reality TV of anyone in this cast, but like he's also played by far the most. It's like, even like if you look at percentage wise, Derek is 1 for 1, right? Like I don't know what statistics he's using to make this claim. It's obviously just like him throwing out some bullshit bravado, but yeah.
That is true. Derek has won 100% of the games that he has played.
Yep.
All
I think
won.
that's why he was so hesitant to ever
Yeah.
play again. And like, we talk about it, like Steve Moses got called for All-Stars and he was like, no. Like, if it's never gonna go as well as it went for me, why would I do that to myself?
Yeah.
I do have some respect for that.
Yeah, you end up with the Ian Terry situation, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're like, great, Ian came back. I love Ian, but it did hurt his legacy a little, right?
Yeah. I mean, looking at season 16, Derek was probably the best person to win from that season as well. So if he was paired up with other people, then maybe not so much, especially on All Stars too.
Well, they had 3 winners from that season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Frankie Grande was the runner-up on Celebrity Big Brother, right?
Yep. Yeah, he's also, I think, still in it on Worst Cooks in America right now.
Nice.
I love that man.
Yeah, I'm a big Frankie fan too.
Yeah. The opening for BB 20, what was it, 25, when they were him, Brittany, and
Danielle.
Was it
right?
was it Danielle? Oh
yeah.
Okay, so they did that together too, but that was just for funs.
That's probably why Danielle thought that they had each other's back going into reindeer games.
Oh, maybe
they did that for free so that the all 3 of them could cash in their spot on reindeer games.
True. That was just like perfect marketing. I gotta watch reindeer games, but the universe just doesn't want me to have it.
Yeah.
Apparently it's crucial, but
there used to be a way where you could like backdoor access Paramount Plus to watch BBOTT. I wonder if someone's figured that out.
I don't think that works anymore. I think they caught on.
So sad. They're like, why are people watching this thing that's not even on their service?
Yeah, no, because there was like direct links you could find or something instead of like finding it through like the menu. But I think the direct links are also now dead.
Mm-hmm. I tried, but
Yeah.
the universe just doesn't want me to have it, and it's fine. I should have just watched it when it was on TV.
Absolutely insane of me, or of them to me, that they took that off, and like it was great. Like, it really in the moment felt like way better than it had any right to be, and then like, oh, this is a staple. They're just gonna do this every year. Perfect. And then they're like, all right, we'll throw that out.
Like, classic Big Brother decisions, honestly. Yeah,
it's awesome.
I guess anything else from this episode that we really kind of need to dig into? I guess we didn't really touch on the mission too much, other than mentioning the shields. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know. I feel like half these missions always feel like they like fudge the time for the episode to make them like win, because to me, like, you know, I don't know how they're getting all that gunpowder that quickly. That seems kind of ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Oh, they were knocking that statue down regardless. So.
Yeah.
It's a nice like 15-minute break from like the rest of the, that's a good like, oh, my phone real quick type.
Yeah, it's a good bathroom break,
Yeah.
No, the only thing I want to highlight is Carolyn's going after Danielle. I feel like if she had just called out the urn with her giving up the shield to everybody, and she still could use that as evidence at the next banishment. Hopefully she does, because I feel like that you're going to start pulling a lot of people with that. But that was kind of like the only notes that I really had from the rest of that round table. Derek's face when Wes started threatening everybody was great, when he quickly realized that everything he just put together is falling apart because of Wes. That was
a light leaving his eyes.
The great editing moment. Just another fun show. Still just in the same thing. Production's just great. It's great, fun, over the top. It's good. And it seems like a lot of people now that's coming slightly more mainstream are buying in to that, because I do feel like that's probably the biggest hold up to try to tell people about this show of like, hey, it is kind of cheesy and over the top. But it seems like people that finally start watching the show, it's working for them. So that's cool. I do think I think it's amassing a pretty big audience from this season, at least from my reconnaissance efforts with the people.
Yeah, I think won an Emmy, that had to help, right? Like, got people on there like, oh, okay, this like must be good.
What is this?
Yeah, Alan Cummings has been doing the rounds on a bunch of talk shows talking about it, which I think is great. And then it has old survivors and Big Brother players or Bravo people who other people are fans of. And I think everyone loves a murder mystery, right? Like that aesthetic is very appealing and fun, and like it kind of like you expect it to be cheesy and like over the top, because that's what those are. I'll never forget being so disappointed we only got one season of Who Done It back in the day. I loved that show. That was like a real murder mystery reality show.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think this is like the better version, I think, though.
Traitors is like a 2-week-long murder mystery party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who Done It had a lot of kinks to work out. If it had gotten more seasons, though, I think it could have been more interesting. But yeah.
You talk about like kind of the Traitors game kind of being poorly conceived. A lot of those kind of one-off season shows like Who Done It had way more poorly conceived game dynamics and game design than the Traitors, for sure.
And maybe one day, we'll spin this podcast off into that podcast we've always talked about of covering those one season wonders of these just like weird reality TV shows, which I think we're about to be like in another renaissance of them, because I think streaming, with the success of Squid Game, The Challenge, The Circle, all the dating shows that are on, like
these games, the Genius is getting ported to the US, which is incredible. Devil's Plan was like on US Netflix despite being a Korean show.
Yeah, and popular. Like, I just think we're gonna get a lot of those. So look at maybe we'll have one.
Yeah, we'll do it all.
Yeah. So that's all I have.
We can do more Bravo too. I can definitely tell you guys what we should watch on Bravo. If you want to watch Vanderpump Rules from the beginning, then you can get your real Tom Sandoval fixin'. 10 years worth of Tom Sandoval content.
I can tell. Yeah, he's like, how do I watch this? How do I get more Tom Sandoval?
It's on Peacock.
What if going in now with what I know about how much of a silly goose he is? What if like that changes my whole perspective though? Like
it will.
Ruins the season.
And I'm like,
it
wow.
will. You'll hate him after season 1, and that's when he didn't do much. He was just obnoxious.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet. I want to embrace the little silly guy he is now.
Tom in his 20s, nauseating. And actually, you know what? No, he was actually probably 29, almost 30 when Vanderpump Rules started, because he's 40 now. So he was a
Vanderpump Rules was like
Mm-hmm.
out of the like Jersey Shore era of reality TV, like that type of I'm trying to put this in my mind of like when this, because there's a different like feel of reality TV through the eras.
It came out in 2013, 2014, I want to say.
Okay. So a little bit after.
Yeah, so it's just a bunch of group of friends that work at a restaurant together that are all bartenders and servers, and they all are dating each other, and
interesting.
It's a whole friend group dynamic, and then obviously changes over time as they get more successful and the show gets more successful.
Is Vanderpump's the name of the restaurant?
No, so Lisa Vanderpump is a Real Housewife of
it's a
Beverly Hills. It's a spinoff of it's about her restaurant and the kids that work at her restaurant.
Cool. All right.
So yeah, and they just recasted the entire show for the next season, so Tom's not even on it anymore. None of them are.
What?
So, yeah.
I'm
not happy. Yeah, I don't understand why. They recasted the entire show, so
it's like a new generation.
All the new cast, all the cast members
rules the next generation. Like
really, it is, because none of them even work at the restaurant anymore. They're all in their 40s. They're not bartenders anymore. So it's all the kids that are working there now.
As someone who had absolutely no idea what Vanderpump Rules is about, that's a much more interesting concept than I thought it was.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's probably one of the best reality TV shows of all time. It's so good. It's my girl Stassi Schroeder. You got to watch that woman on TV. Oh my God. You think you love Snooki, you love JWoww, meet Stassi.
Okay. All right.
Meet Stassi.
They phased all the old casts out at once, or was it kind of like, in real life when you work at like a restaurant for a little bit, you come in and you're the new guy, and then 4 years later you look around and you're like, I don't even know these people. Like all the people who were here when I got here are gone. Or was it like they just got rid of them all at once?
Yeah, so they were all in the side pocket of my bag. Okay. They were all on the entire show. They've ebbed and flowed. There's been a couple of them that stayed on for probably like 7-8 seasons, and then weren't on the last couple. Like Stassi was on all the way up through like season 8, 9. And then it's all the way up. They did season 10 was when Scandival happened, and then they did season 11 right after that. And I guess season 12 is just all new people. It's been the same cast this entire time. So it really, I don't know why they didn't just stop filming the show, because it's just as sour to the fans that love it. But if you ever need a new show and you've already seen the Jersey Shores and all that stuff, give Vanderpump Rules a try. It's exceptional reality TV.
Yeah, I mean, we always need new stuff to cover on Better Radio, on the Better Radio podcasting network.
So I guess my question is, now that the entire Vanderpump Rules original cast are out of jobs, maybe the Traitors season 4 can pluck one or two of them. Now that Tom Sandoval has kind of like broken the seal on that as a franchise. Who would you want to see then from Vanderpump Rules on season 4?
Oh, Stassi, of course. Once you get to know Stassi, she is like a cryptic-minded person. Like she's so messed up in the head in the best way that she would eat this up. And she also loves like the whole like lore of like spooky stuff. So like this would be right up her alley, and they got to get her on, because she hasn't filmed much since she left Vanderpump Rules, but I feel like she would definitely do the Traitors. And I think they should also get Lala Kent on there too. Lala is like the queen. Like she's just the most insane queen person I've ever seen on TV. So
all right.
I guarantee someone will be on it next season.
You got to watch Vanderpump Rules. It's too good.
You got Tom is a breakout character online.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan, you didn't know him, you love him. Like, I think they'll have more Vanderpump Rules people in the next season for sure.
Yeah,
and like Ben said, they're all
obviously
employed. So
they are, unfortunately. And
one of them is hosting Love Island or Bachelor in Paradise now or something like that.
That's Ariana.
Okay, that's his ex that he put it on.
That's Tom's ex. So she was also on Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
Is she on that? Was she the one who won that? Or no, was there another Bachelor?
No, she got like 3rd or 4th place, but she did good. But
what is she hosting now?
She hosts Love Island.
She's hosting Love Island. Okay, that's what I thought. And then I second guessed myself.
We could recap Love Island. I do watch Love Island. There's another.
I'll get Jenny. You guys can have your own show of it because
a hot new bombshell has just entered the villa.
So good. So they fired the girl from Modern Family then.
Oh, poor Sarah Hyland. She did good though. She clapped back at people. Like, she was good.
That's funny.
But
Sarah Hyland, I've recently found out, is married to Wells, right?
She is married to Wells.
Of the Traitors.
That's why he looked familiar.
Yeah. I told you that when we started.
I see. Okay.
She's married. I
didn't really like internalize that though. It's kind of like a weird Venn diagram connections that we have, Tom Sandoval's ex that he cheated on replaced Wells's wife's job.
Yeah,
interesting. I knew
it's a small world reality TV.
It is.
World.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, you planted the seed in my head now about a Jersey Shore people playing this game, so I'm kind of now I'm all over that.
Mm-hmm. Get the situation up in there.
The situation would be situating for sure.
He's gonna be like 50 now, right?
Oh, yeah.
No, they're
30s.
They're actually around the same age as Tom Sandoval.
Okay.
Well, Mike's
a little older.
Mike, the situation was like 50 on his season of Jersey Shore. He's 42.
He's 42. Okay.
Mike's 42.
Way overselling
He's
it.
only 2 years older than Tom, so
yeah.
And he's married with 3 kids, and he's got his
he
got his situation situated for sure.
That's good. I heard he went to jail for not paying taxes.
Yeah.
Put Richard Hatch on. Maybe they can.
Hey, I mean, it's not stopping reality TV shows from putting Richard Hatch on, so he was just on House of Villains.
I love Jersey Shore, and it's huge right now because they just got Ron and Sam both back on the show. It's a whole thing. I can't. Ron, stop! Ron.
Jersey Shore's on again now.
They have Family Vacation. They've been doing Family Vacation.
It's been on for like 7 years.
It's been on for a while. They've done more seasons.
How long was it
going
going for then? Like 2 years?
Almost 10, I think. They were off TV for probably 5 to 10 years. And then they've been doing Family Vacation now longer than the original show was even on.
Yeah.
It was definitely at least airing in like 2013, 2014, right?
Yeah, because I was in college when it ended.
Yes.
And then I remember they had that Alabama show.
2009.
And that guy died from
2012. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it was high school.
Graduated high school.
College.
Yeah.
Family Vacation started in either 2017 or 2018. I remember.
Yeah, that's not 5 years off. That's not bad. I'm glad. I'm happy for them.
It actually started in 2018.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember watching it and thinking it was pretty horrible. It was nothing like the original Jersey Shore, but the fact that they've stayed on for this long is impressive.
I mean, you'll never. They're all parents and married now. It's different, but it still scratches the itch for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
but that show is feral.
Right? You go on a reality show at like 22, and then that's just your job later.
Oh yeah.
What?
You're set up for life as long as you don't do stuff like stupid shit with your money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never realized how many times in the original show that they were swearing instead of saying regular words until I was playing it, and my dad's like, "Do they even say any real words on this show?" And I'm like,
"Oh, really?
You know what? You're so right. You're so right. It's just F-bomb. It's just beep beep bleep 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 over and over again." But it's good stuff.
What a time.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is one of the good things about the Traitors, right? Like their reality TV, like landscape is so broad. They could just like go back and pluck all of these like people from these old shows and bring them on, and like it's nostalgia bait, and that's kind of like why that's one of the reasons why it's successful. Obviously, it's a really good show regardless. So yeah, it's it's always going to be interesting to see who they get on next.
I could see them getting Vinny. I would see Vinny doing it for sure. They got to get a Jersey Shore person on. They got to get my
Snooki or die. Snooki or die. I need to see Snooki trying to. I need to Snooki as like a faithful trying to figure this shit out.
Snooki with her like cheetah print meets Scottish wear. She could do it for sure.
Snooki did the Celebrity Apprentice. She did, I think, did she do Celebrity Big Brother UK? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so.
Keep talking. I'll be.
No, she definitely did Celebrity Apprentice. She did the Celebrity Apprentice season that Arnold Schwarzenegger hosted. Or maybe not. I don't know. I actually can't remember. The one that Matt Eisman won.
Doesn't look like she was on Big Brother.
Okay.
Granted, the Google AI response says no, so I was like, maybe she was.
Maybe she was. The internet just doesn't want us to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's definitely precedent for her going on another show, unlike competition reality shows. So.
So I had meat that I was like, is this good? Like, it's past the expiration. I Googled it, and AI said, yeah, eat that. And every other result was like, no, do not eat that.
It's like, sure, have fun.
We have like finally a New York renaissance where we have New York on House of Villains. She's now on this like cooking, Worst Cooks in America show. She was on Celebrity Big Brother UK. Like, I'm just saying, like, get her on the Traitors, please.
Once you dip your toe in the pond, they're just like all the fish start coming, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Those checks are probably hard to turn down. Like,
oh yeah,
it's like just come out like 3 weeks or less if you get off, and you'll get like, I don't know, probably a ridiculous amount of money from Peacock. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'll be there.
Yeah. They don't even care about the prize money in the end, but
no.
We got to staff the Vanderpump Rules cast. Those poor people are out of work.
Yeah, we gotta.
That's why Tom did it. He's like, crap, I need to be on TV.
You gotta find them a nice
with his ego. That's probably the thought that went through his head. He's like, I'm not gonna be on TV anymore. I gotta go to Scotland.
I think it's probably that he thought this was his opportunity to try to do some I don't know. I think imagery.
Well, Tom also went on Special Forces too last year, and he was kind of pulling the card of like, I deserve this, like I need to be like put in my place, like I need this to whip me into shape, like, and I'm like, you're fine. That's another show too where they're always plucking people. Special Forces. I think Peter did it too.
Oh, wow. I saw Cam Newton do like some crazy shit in a clip, and everyone was like, wow, can you believe that? It was like, yeah, I can believe Cam Newton can do that. Yes. Have you seen him? He's like top 1% athlete in history. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many shows now where like the whole premise is like random reality TV people. Like the Traitors formula, they kind of like, made popular because we have like House of Villains, we have like all these other shows now that are doing it.
The challenge formula, right? They're the first ones to really embrace.
True, that is true.
Hey, let's get these random other people on here. And who was it? Was it literally like Fessy and like Bailey and Swaggy
Josh, Swaggy C, Pauly Calfiore.
Yeah, those are all good, like entertaining people. Like it made sense that it worked, and now we're getting all these great shows out of it. Love it. Yeah. So shout out challenge. We were hard on you because of Wes being so bad, but you are very important in history. I don't remember what Road Rules was, but the legacy lives on.
I love reality TV.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Anything else?
I think that's it.
All right, do you want to go around and plug anything working on? Ben, what do you got?
I got nothing.
Julia, what do you got?
Honestly, I got nothing too.
Dylan.
Well, you know me. I got a whole lot of nothing going on at the moment.
We're so exciting.
DJ Cleverlang on Twitch, on X, still fighting the good fight on X. Apparently,
Yes.
Everything up.
More stuff. We're gonna do more stuff soon. Brian and I always talking about it. More.
Yeah, we got a good show coming back.
Too. Yeah.
We got the plans for that.
Yeah, the Survivor 48 cast dropped. We have that in like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep. We got Survivor.
It's just too far away. It's like,
usually they drop with like 2 weeks left, right? Yeah. And like this was like, the cast is out. I mean, Survivor's back in 2 weeks. I look up, it's like 4 weeks. What the hell?
Coming back on my birthday, which is like great. Happy birthday! Last time was my birthday. David Sampson and Garrett, right?
Yeah, Garrett Allison. Yeah,
they got voted off. So
probably on.
Hopefully, it'll be as good, and hopefully, it will like make the season, be as good.
11 years since Survivor has been this late in the spring.
Yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy. But that was a great season of Survivor. So I'm hoping. I believe we agree it's been good lately, so should be fine. And we'll probably start getting the leaks of who actually made the season 50 cast sooner than later, which will be very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because season 50 is filming probably in like June to July, right? So like, around like probably April to May is when we'll probably start getting meaningful cast leaks, and then June and July is when we're gonna have to start like not getting actual spoilers.
Yep. Yeah, I imagine right now they're really finalizing the season 49 cast, and then it'll be off to the races. Should be fun.
We have a very exciting 2025, right? Because we got Last of Us coming back.
Yes,
I'm not on that show, but Brian, of course, is. So we got that. We got that.
Open invitation to anyone to come on the Worth Fighting For podcast. Talk a little bit of Last of Us. Should be a cool and chill and not crazy season and discourse. Really looking forward to going through that again. Doing irreparable psychic damage to myself by engaging in that discourse once again.
I did a TikTok of like ranking games, and I put Last of Us 2 as my favorite. That was my second most engaged video on TikTok of people commenting. So
there you go.
That sucks. I was trying to stay away from it. We did the one podcast, Liam, Tamor, and I, and I've been trying to not talk about The Last of Us publicly, Last of Us 2 specifically.
I'll do it.
Publicly since.
Put me in. I happily defend Last of Us 2.
Yeah, no, I love it. It's just like people are just weird online. I don't know. 2025 should be good. We're probably getting Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
This summer.
Westeros.
This summer, I think.
Title was. Yeah. So we'll definitely be covering that on the Pod for Sea of Ice and Fire. Couldn't come up with a better name for that one. No, that's not even the name. It's the Pod of Ice and I don't know.
Something like that.
On the channel.
Should have did the pod that was promised.
It was taken. I know.
Every Game of Thrones pun you can possibly think of has been taken.
It was insane, dude. I was like typing them in and just like, yep, that's a podcast. Like, because like Fire and Pod, it was like slam dunk, like that Dwayne Wade and LeBron picture. Like, that's of course that was taken. It's packed of mics and fire. That's the name of the podcast. I'm sorry, Ryan, if you're watching. Obviously, I value our show. I'm just, I'm too deep. I'm like 10 podcasts deep on this channel. At this point, it's hard to keep them all straight. But if you want to see those, check out the channel. Better Radio has all of our podcasts there. You like Buffy the Vampire Slayer? We got 5/7 of it. Maybe we'll finish that one day. Angel, we have 2.5 seasons of that show. All the modern era of Survivor. A good amount of Big Brother. Not all of it, for sure. A couple of random Circle seasons, and now the Traitors. But main channel, we can get everything this channel, Better Radio, our sports channel, which Dylan made his first appearance on there. Wicked Good Sports, and yeah, this was so fun. I love talking reality TV. Hopefully, I was good with the mute button because I was coughing up a storm on my side, but hopefully that didn't come through. So
I didn't hear it once. So.
I didn't hear you one bit.
Perfect. That's what I like to hear because I was like, it's gonna be a long night of editing if I didn't do this right. But yeah, thank you all so much for your time, and thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you in the next one.